Hi, I'm Lou.
John.
And
Hi.
welcome to our series Clarifications. Now, you will have noticed by now, if you're actually trekking with some of these, that we haven't sat down and come up with 10 points to make life clearer for you, because we're in a very complex and layered subject matter here, aren't we? And so we are actually thrashing this out deliberately between ourselves to clarify and dig down into kind of some of these questions. This one I love. Is such a good question, and it is guilt-free detachment possible? I've got a feeling a lot of people will really kind of pick this one.
I've got this view of picking up something in the supermarket and looking at the ingredients, and fat-free, gluten-free, guilt-free, and the guilt-free one, I'm not entirely sure about,
Well, we picked up, let's say while we're doing this, we picked up on a dear lady who's obviously really struggling, is listening to probably the first bit of our program, which is to say, get a life yourself. But there's obviously been a corresponding behavior that she's noticing, and this is making her feel really uncomfortable. And our hearts went out to her because we kind of really got what was going on.
Basically, it's a case of, we're telling people, get a life, enjoy yourself, get out there, don't sit around waiting for your drinker. And what's happening is she's going out and her head is back there because the drinker is drinking while she's out. So she's feeling guilty about it, and she's also feeling frustrated because this is not just not what's supposed to happen.
And it used to happen to me. I was responsible for an event, and every time I went out, I came back. I could guarantee I'd come back to a drunk.
When we sort of started talking about this, we started talking about the motive of the drinker. Why does the drinker drink? And is it passive aggression? Is it revenge? Is it what? And I tend to believe it is more of a case of the cat's away, the mouse will play.
Well, that's because that's what you used to do, I suppose, when you're
nobody's watching me, I can do what I like. It's very childish, but that's what I did as a drinker. If nobody's watching, then. Sure.
I think there's two other things that can go on. I think my husband absolutely, deeply inside of himself, felt abandoned. So if in some way the fact that I was daring to have a life that didn't include him made him feel as if I was just leaving him. And so the other thing is, I think some people do it as retaliation. They get kind of angry. The other thing is,
I think what we're saying here is that there's no one definite motive. Retaliation, possibly. Revenge, possibly. Feeling abandoned, possibly.
And I'm drinking because you're not here and I can. Which is a very common
Absolutely.
thing. Okay. So you're really torn, particularly if you're a mother or a dad. You're really kind of torn. Do I dare have a life? Can I just say that the first time that John asked me what I wanted to do, I don't know if you remember this, but you said it. I was as if I was sitting there looking at something a long on the horizon, far away, because he was asking me what I wanted, and for so long I'd sat on what was good for me that I actually couldn't remember or even think that I could want something. So this might engage. It created a monster now.
Exactly.
But the point of that, and what I'm saying there, is if we encourage you to kind of begin to care for yourself, because you will be so fixated on the fact that you need to fix the problem that you're in, you will feel a bit of guilt because you'll have persuaded yourself for a long period of time that you don't have a right to any happiness, you need to fix the problem. Is that fair enough? So be aware of that. It's a false guilt, but it'll feel really real.
But it's like it falls into this where we talk about the dance. You're it's like having a small child that needs your attention all the time. And so I mean, one of the things that struck me was when I was reading what this lady was saying was that is he going to drink? Is he not going to drink if you stay in? Is that what you're saying? That, and I very much doubt that, because you wouldn't be on bottled up if that was the case, it feels a bit like babysitting.
Yeah.
You know?
And just be aware too, your partner is brilliant at taking something which is this and may come from good motives and twisting that.
Yeah.
He's brilliant at trying to, or it might be your child, or your mum and dad, or she will be brilliant at trying to push some of the blame of what they're doing onto you and make you the guilty party. So for example, and we say this, when your partner drinks, we suggest going to another room. Don't watch what he's doing or she's doing, because it just undermines your feelings for them. It is likely he'll say something, or she'll say something like, yeah, I knew go off and abandon me. That's likely to be what is said.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. I think, push some of the blame onto you. You push all of the blame onto you. And I'm only half joking when I say that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're used to being made to feel guilty,
absolutely.
And when you then go off and start to do something where you're actually enjoying yourself, you'll feel this false guilt, this false shame. And the answer, can I do detachment without guilt? You probably can't do detachment without working through false guilt, but you can recognise that you don't have to pick it up and you shouldn't be thinking about it anyway.
It's optional.
Can I say that again? Because I think that's so important. Okay. You will be riddled with false shame and guilt. When you start to pick up your life or do evasive behaviours or put boundaries down that keep you safer, you will feel guilt. But it's not really your guilt. It's the guilt that's come out of living with a drinker. So you will feel that feeling, but recognise it's false shame and guilt. And don't pick it up. Just say, okay, I know this feeling will come up, but I'm going to let it go because it isn't how it should be. I've said that twice because I knew when I was saying it that it was crucial for me, and it will be crucial for you.
Yeah, I mean, what we can say is that we can't guarantee that it'll be guilt-free, but we can guarantee it'll be guilt-optional.
Yes.
Yeah. It's up to you. And that sounds a wee bit harsh.
Yes, you don't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, it is optional. And again, the more you practice it, the more you start to realise that, you don't have to feel guilty here. Again, you're in a relationship with supposedly an adult.
Yeah.
And adults should actually regulate their own behaviour. That's something that should happen.
And remember that with a drinker, it does not work. All the rules that apply in a loving relationship don't seem to apply when you get a dependent situation. And so, no, you shouldn't have to detach and make your heart think, I'm just not going to be with them. Of course, that isn't how you should be. And in any other environment, you're starting to feel that a little bit of, oh, that wasn't very nice, might be quite appropriate. But you didn't ask me to put in this situation. And if you have to detach and be strong, and even feel a bit angry, I'm proud of yourself, it's because you're reacting to a very dysfunctional situation. It's not that you're dysfunctional yourself. And again, really listen to this, because I know this is such an important kind of video for people to listen to.
If we thought for a minute that detaching, not detaching, and watching your drinker all the time would stop them drinking, then we would say that, because it'd be pragmatic. Okay, here's a way to do it, but it won't. We know that it won't, So, what's the point of sitting around watching the person all the time? It just, as I said before, babysitting, it just doesn't work.
And a smidgen of anger to help you be detached and put down that boundary may be there. It may be the fuel you will use to do it. Eventually, I hope it isn't the fuel that stays there, because then it will be driven rather than led. But if you do it a little bit sparky, then that energy, that might help you to actually do it.
Yeah, we can do a lot of things through anger that we can't do otherwise.
So if you're struggling with guilt, and say, no, I have no right to take this guilt. This is not my guilt, So again, anger can help you at that point, can take a little bit of care of you. Again, a lot of complex emotions in this situation. So to answer the question, is guilt-free detachment possible? I think it's hard. I think it's really important that you do it. And I think many of the feelings that you have to process at that point really were stuck on you and not really legitimate feelings that are part of your kind of maturing. So acknowledge the feeling, just say, well, I think I know what this is, and then try and let it go. and continue to detach in love.
There are very few things that are easy the first time round.
Yeah.
Very,
True.
very few things. But things get easier the more you do them.
Yeah.
The more you practice it, the easier it gets. So, is guilt-free detachment possible? It's difficult at the beginning, gets easier.
Yeah. And again, talk back to us. You know, we're interested in engaging you. There's we did a video earlier. We're all in this together. Yeah, this is not us telling you what to do and you shutting up. And this is us trying to build a community.
Yeah.
So we want you to have a voice.
So if you've got any hints, tips, ways of doing it, how have you coped with it?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. If you want to take over
because
for a
it
week,
might help other people.
Yeah, it will. So I didn't mean to, because that's really true. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought I was
quite all right.
At that point I was making a joke.
Yeah. You want to replace me?
Inappropriate humour.
If you want to replace me, that's fine.
Anyway, I hope that's been helpful, and again, just keep coming on this series as we try to clarify.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.